First, I would like to refer to the Buddha to find out what he has said about love. Because he was a young prince who really enjoyed his life. And he was a husband, he was a father, and he knows the real nature of love. Having gone through all these experiences and trials and errors and mistakes and enjoyments also, after gaining his enlightenment, he says like this in Dhammapada: Pemato jayati soko, pemato jayati bhayang, pemato vipamuttas nati soko kuto bhayang. The meaning: love or attachment create fear. Love or attachment create worries and responsibilities and unhappiness. Premato vipamuttas, one who is free from this love and attachment, nati soko kuto vaya, no more fear, no more worries, no more responsibilities. This is the way how he has introduced us to make love. But you should not get frustrations or disappointments after listening to the Buddha, because you are not Buddhas. You are worldly people. You like to see the world. You like to experience the pleasure. You like to indulge your senses until you get fed up. So when we use this word love, you must understand there are many kinds of love. First we divide into two: selfish love and selfless love. Human love and animal love. If we can understand this, we can settle, overcome many of our problems and worries, disappointments we are experiencing in our day-to-day life. Let us take love that develops between husband and wife. It is love. It is important. The Buddha has never said that husband should not love his wife and wife should not love her husband. In his teaching, in fact, he says, if a man can find out a suitable wife, he is a very fortunate man. If a woman can find out a suitable husband, she is a very fortunate woman. So he did not condemn. Again, the Buddha's wife, Yasodhara, First time when he visited the palace, 7 years after his renunciation, because the wife has not seen the husband, Prince Siddhartha. Now they have a son, 7 years old, Rahul. This small boy every day asks, "Mother, where is my father? What happened to him?" So mother could not console that poor boy. So one day, after 7 years, when he was coming towards the palace, Yasodhara and Rahula introduced the Buddha, or his father, to Rahula. So when you recite Narasiha Gatha, the way how she has introduced the Buddha, Chakvarankita Ratta Supado Lakhana Mandita Ayata Panni Chamara Chatta Vibhusita Pado Isahi Tuiha Pita Narasiho. There are few stanzas, the way how she has explained. The last line, Isahi Tuiha Pita Nar, Tuiha Pita, your father. That is your father. When he was coming from the balcony, he pointed out, that is your father. Then explain all the characteristics, the features, complexion, height. So, then the small boy was so happy and went to the Buddha and addressed him as father. Then he told, "Father, I heard you have a very big property. So I am your son." Because he can understand, now he is 7 years old. "So do you like to hand over your property to me?" Then the Buddha said, "Yes, I got very big treasure, valuable property with me. If you follow me, definitely you get it." Then he said, "Okay." So this small innocent boy followed him. Then he asked Venerable Sariputta, his chief disciple, to ordain him as a novice monk. Then the Buddha's father, the old man, was very, very sad. He could not tolerate. So went to the Buddha and cried and told him, "In future, you should not allow your disciples to ordain anybody without the permission from the parent. First, you must get the consent from the father." The Buddha accepted that. From that day onwards, the disciples did not ordain anybody. Age is immaterial. There is no age limit for that. There must be some sort of permission from somebody from the family. That is the Buddhist custom. So, husband loves wife and wife loves husband. That is selfish love. If there is no selfishness, they never love each other. This you can understand very clearly when husband neglect his duties toward the wife There you cannot find any more love. If wife forget to fulfill her duties towards husband, no more love. That means one expects something from the other. That is called selfish love. So misunderstanding, conflicts, calamity, animosity take place because of that selfishness. If it is love without selfishness or any ulterior motive in the mind, misunderstanding, separation, enmity never take place. But this is natural. Otherwise, there is no mutual understanding. Give and take policy must be there. That is how we maintain our human society or family life or married life, and this work just like a magnetic power, attachment and love. But some people go to extreme. They develop more emotional love. Emotional love is not very lasting one. Romantic love that young people develop at earlier stages, not stable. Last only for a few months or 1 or 2 years, we can see thousands and thousands of us. Lot of disappointment, then develop jealousy, then enmity, conflict, fight, sometimes suicide or murder cases. That romantic love. And this romantic love was not common in those days. The reason is, parents never allow a young girl to go out with another person until she gets married. That was the custom. You may think it is very old-fashioned and no freedom. But by following this, they maintain their dignity, respect, and parents investigate, fulfill all their duties toward the son and the daughter. Even in India, still there are certain areas. A boy never gets the chance to see the girl until he gets married. Only that very particular day, the boy can see the girl. But the parents go and investigate everything. And such marriages never become failures. Because that is not romantic or emotional love. At your young age, when you develop this romantic and emotional love, you pretend, you never reveal, you hide all your weaknesses and show only the very sweet and very nice, very tempting and very attractive, very colorful, and makeup and this and that. All good things. Bad things and weaknesses you hide. Sometimes you may have false teeth and you, until you get married, you never come to know your girlfriend or boyfriend is having false teeth. This is the nature of your romantic love. And after that you get fed up. From the very beginning, very frankly, you had to introduce. And then, if you really love that person, later there is nothing for you to create any disappointment or disagreement. So you covered everything, and after associating, working and living together for a few months or few years, you come to know all the weaknesses, then the separation, divorce, every day fighting, quarreling, arguing, and life becomes very miserable one. But the main reason is that love that many people develop is, as husband and wife, selfish love. But that selfishness you had to convert, you had to divert with mutual understanding. Give and take policy. Then you can maintain it. This is the nature of love that husband and wife develop. Then, parental love. Father and mother develop their love towards the children. Children also develop their love towards the parent. This is also selfish love. Because father and mother expect something in return by developing their love and attachment and supporting, providing all the necessities. In return, they expect something from them. If they can do this, fulfill all their duties without expecting anything from their children, then there won't be any misunderstanding. In that respect, animals are more advanced than human beings. I think you have seen cats and dogs and birds, they take so much troubles and pain, even at the risk of their life, to protect their young one, to feed them. One day, I have seen how a small bird had to fight with a cobra. A bird has laid egg on the top of a coconut tree, a rotten one, hatching egg. A snake was climbing to the top of this coconut tree. The small bird knew that snake is climbing to swallow the egg. So this bird started to attack a cobra on the way until he reached the top of the coconut tree, did not give up. But in the end, the poor bird had to keep quiet because the snake is more powerful. How they fight to protect their young ones. Again, the duties that they fulfill to look after, feed them. I have seen another interesting incident. A sparrow, a small bird who lay eggs, inside the house here and there. And male and female every day come and hatch the egg. Then the young ones also now making noise. Every day they had to go out and bring food to feed the young bird. The mother birds always goes out and collect food and feed. Again goes back, again come back. But the male bird was sitting. Very seldom goes out, just sitting. One day, I was watching very carefully. This mother bird came back after feeding the young one. She started to scold the husband. He was doing nothing. Unfortunately, I could not understand the language, but I can understand the ideas, what she expressed. He was then jump into other one. This male bird was sitting like this, listening to what this female bird is doing. Scolded properly. That means, why can't you understand? You are also responsible for this young one. Every time I had to go out and bring food, why can't you also go out and bring something to feed this young one? So can you imagine such tiny creatures also, how they express their feeling for the sake of their young one? But after fulfilling all their duties, they never expect anything in return from their young one. That is called selfless love. Our parental love is selfish, but animals' parental love is not selfish. So when they attain certain age, and they can stand their own feet. All right, now we have taught you how to find out your food. And there are certain birds who never lay egg twice in the same net. I do not know whether you have noticed. And second time they make another net. What is the main purpose? To teach the young one how to make their nets. So they are the carpenters, masons, and all the works. They learn from the parents how to find out their food and how to protect themselves from their enemies. So after learning everything, they separate. They are independent. They do not depend on parents, and parents do not depend on them. But this is the nature of animals. Right? This is natural. But the trouble with us is we have more craving, more attachment, more emotion. Because of this mental attitude, we want to continue our attachment, our relationship throughout our life. That is why parents want their children to get married and produce children. And they want to love their grandchildren also. They want to see their grandchildren. Because of this attachment and craving. But for our living, for our security purpose, this is important. The human society is such, we need this cooperation and understanding as a community to live together. Because our way of life is not like animals' way of life. But at the same time, we also invite enormous worries and troubles and calamities and misunderstanding and cursing, accusing, blaming, criticizing, condemning. because in all our attitude and activities and duties, we also develop that selfishness. And that selfishness creates all the other problems. So if you are understanding people, you can fulfill all your duties towards your parents, your children, without discriminating, without neglecting all your duties. At the same time, you can make up your mind not to develop too much attachment towards them, not to expect many things in return from them, what you have done for them. Then you can make up your mind. You won't get disappointment. You can say, we have done all our duties towards our children. We have given education. We have taught them everything. We have given reasonable property also. Now, there is nothing for us to worry. They cannot blame us. We have done our duty. Whether they fulfill their duties or not, it is up to them. We are not worried about that. If you can develop this understanding, then you can carry on your life without crying and worrying and lamenting and accusing. This is the nature of parental love. Then we have another kind of love, brotherly love. We regard one particular group as our brothers, say our family members, because we feel same blood from the same father and mother. Then this is intrinsic or the natural feeling. Is after all, he is my own brother, she is my own sister. We refer to the blood relationship. But their mentality, their way of thinking, their attitude, their temperaments are entirely different. Sometimes they can become worse enemies. They can kill each other. At that time, no blood relationship. That is also a selfish love. You regard them as your own brothers and sisters because of this blood relationship. But mind to mind, your relationship is not very advanced. Lot of conflicts, troubles and misunderstanding take place amongst brothers and sisters. So it is also a selfish love. Then another kind of brotherly love we develop towards our own race. We are all brothers. Let us take Chinese. Chinese say all our Chinese are brothers. That is brotherly love. All our Indians are brothers. Another group say all our Buddhists are brothers. Christians and Muslims and Hindus also say they are group. That particular group, they develop their brotherly feeling only towards that particular group or community. That kind of love also called selfish love. They discriminate others, they condemn others, they disturb others, but love only this particular group. That is how conflicts, clashes, war take place in this world. Since we have divided, separated our love into various groups. Now we can see We started from the beginning, husband and wife, parents and children, brothers and sisters. Now we come to different group of brothers. Then friendly love, friendship also we develop. Then our attachment towards each other is very strong. But even then, there is selfishness. By developing your friendship, you expect something in return, thinking that when you are in trouble, when you are sick, or your friends may come and support you, help you. There is some sort of selfishness. If not, I can borrow something when I am in trouble. And this kind of friendship also has created a lot of enmity, misunderstanding because of that selfishness. Many people actually pretend they don't want to reveal their selfishness, but show that they have real friendship, wholeheartedly they love as friends. But when the time comes, you can understand their real color, or real character, or real mentality. A well-known Western scholar, you might have heard his name, Voltaire, is very liberal-minded, a Christian, a scholar. In one of his books, he mentioned about his prayer. He prays every day. And how he prays? He says, "Oh Lord, please protect me from my friends. I know how to protect myself from my enemies." Can you understand? That means, although I associate with my friends, I cannot understand them. Therefore, asking God to protect him. I know how to protect myself from my enemies because I can understand their mentality. They are my enemies. So I know how to take precaution, protection, avoid. Not necessary to protect me from my enemies. He is directly pointing the nature of so-called friendship. So that love also related to selfishness. So still we cannot satisfy. Then we always talk about love and loving kindness. Since we cannot satisfy with all these words, different kinds of love we develop, and all these things, if not many of these things, in the end create disappointments, unhappiness, and worries. Now then, we try to develop selfless love. That means, in that selfless love, we do not develop our emotion or attachment, but understanding. Because we think it is our duty as human beings to do some service to others to relieve their suffering, their worries, their fear, their problem, without expecting anything from them in return. That is called selfless love. But very difficult for people to practice this kind of selfless love. Take for instance, as Buddhists, we do lot of meritorious deeds, accumulate lot of merit. To accumulate merits, we had to do good deeds. Good deeds means do some service to others. Otherwise we cannot accrue merits. Then what is the purpose of accumulating merit? There again you can see how we develop our selfishness. Our main idea is, by the virtues of these merits, may I get this or that within this life while we are living, either prosperity, long life, good health, publicity, name and fame and so many things. We have imbued selfishness into that meritorious deeds. Then we develop further. So by the virtues of this merit, may I get the chance to be born in a very rich family to enjoy my life. Again you develop your selfishness with your meritorious deed. Further, by the power of this merit, may I get the chance to be born in heaven, in paradise, to enjoy my life, to have eternal, everlasting life. It is selfishness. The Buddha has explained these things. As Buddhists, we had to develop further. What he says is this: whether you aspire or not, whether you develop this hope and confidence to gain this and that worldly thing or not, naturally you get. Remember this. Now you offer something, dana. Then what he says? Danang khalu sabhavena sagga manusa bhogada. The Buddha says, naturally, when you offer dana, when you practice charity, generosity, you get some sort of good effect, good result, to experience some sort of comfortable, happy and prosperous life, either as human beings or as devas. It is natural. But parinama vaseneva hotu mokkhopanissaya. If you do not develop further, the happiness and the prosperity, the comfortable life that you experience extinguish, no more. Again you get into trouble. Because you have spent the result of the merit, you have already spent while enjoying. Then after that, what are you going to do? Again, you have to collect. So if you have not collected more, then you get into trouble. Use your common sense, you can understand it. Therefore, parinama vaseneva hotu mokho panisaya. Aspiration is important here only for this. What is this aspiration? Every time when you perform some sort of religious services, you develop this aspiration, hope or will in your mind. This morning also you recited, Imina punya kammena mame bal samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patya. That is the aspiration. What does the meaning? Imina punya kammena. Punya kammena means meritorious deeds. By the virtues of this merit, then we determine, what is that? Mame bala samagamo. Life after life, as long as we exist in this samsara, in this wheel of existence, we don't like to associate with those who mislead us, blindfold us, who try to introduce immoral, wicked, cruel, bad things. Try to keep away from those people. That is the first thing. Satang samagamo hotu. So may I get the chance to associate with those who can guide us, advise us, educate us, pave the way for us to carry on our noble way of life. Satang samagamo hotu. Yava nibbana patya. Until I attain my final goal, my salvation, nibbana. For that you need aspiration. Otherwise you won't get. This is the Buddhist attitude. There is no selfishness. Because this aspiration you did not develop in your mind to experience worldly pleasure, worldly enjoyment, but to maintain complete peace, happiness, freedom. There is no selfishness. But you cannot gain this without reducing that selfishness that you developed earlier. Selfishness becomes a hindrance for this spiritual development. Then we have learned how to develop our selfless love. So when we develop this selfless love, there we cannot apply any kind of discrimination. Whether they belong to our race, our nationality, our country, our religion, you never consider in that way. Because we develop one of these things by depending on our egoism, egoistic feeling. Selfishness is there. I think you might have read that booklet written by Dalai Lama. what he says. He says, when I meet another person, I never think, or such ideas never appear in my mind, whether this person is Indians or Chinese or Europeans or Japanese or Korean. Such ideas never appear in my mind. I never think whether he is a Buddhist or Christians or Hindus or Muslims. I never think. I never think whether he is dark or brown or white. I feel that I met another member of my human family. Slowly, gradually, step by step, we had to develop this. Otherwise, we never maintain peace in our mind. Impossible. We cannot live peacefully. Discrimination always prevails in this world. Then the unique feature, the special characteristics in Buddhism, I can say without any doubt in my mind, the uniqueness of Buddhism here, universal love. This universal love you cannot find in any religion in this world, only in the Buddha's teaching. Others say, don't kill, don't disturb, don't rob, don't do this. Only human beings. They consider only human beings. Sometimes they ignore all the other innocent, poor animals and other living beings. No mercy, no sympathy, no kindness, no love toward them. But all those living beings on this earth assume some other religions preaches us. Extend your loving kindness towards all those living beings on this earth or in the water. But Buddhism has gone beyond this. That is why I told you the uniqueness of Buddhism there. You can. What is that? When you read Metta Sutta, he says, Bhutava Sambhavesi Vasat. All those who were born or yet to be born or unborn, you had to extend your loving kindness toward them. Dittava yeva additta, with the seen or unseen, known or unknown. Whether they are here on this earth or above, in any part of the universe, in any planet, in any galaxies, if there are living beings, either in heaven or Brahma world, or in hell or spirit world or ghost world, extend, radiate your loving kindness towards all of them, irrespective of their size or the color or the formation, without any discrimination. That is called universal love. Now you can understand. We started from the beginning how we develop our love as husband and wife, parents and children, brothers and sisters and friends, and our particular community, our particular race or religion or culture. And again, how we develop our love towards all those living beings on this earth or in this planet. So such advices you can find or you can learn from certain other religions also. But this all-embracing or the universal love you can find only in the Buddha's teaching. Why? This advice was given by a most compassionate religious teacher. The Buddha, the Supreme Enlightened Buddha, had two special characteristics which you cannot find in any other religious teacher who appeared in this world. What are those two special characteristics in the Buddha? Maha Karuna, Maha Prajna. Great compassion, great wisdom. That is called enlightenment. This great compassion who can extend the whole universe without any discrimination, you can find only in the Buddha. And he is the one who preached, who advised us to extend this. Then the wisdom, realization, you can see wisdom in many other religious teachers also. But I don't think that we can find great wisdom or enlightenment in them. Then what is the difference between ordinary wisdom and enlightenment? What is Buddhist wisdom? People say wisdom is wisdom. What is that special characteristic in Buddhist wisdom? There you can find. After gaining knowledge, experience, we realize many things in this world about our life and the world and the nature and elements and forces and energies. That is called wisdom. Ordinary wisdom. But the nature of the Buddha's wisdom is not limited only for that much. Real wisdom, or the Buddhist wisdom introduced according to Buddhism, never appear in our mind through our knowledge, unless and until we completely purify our human weaknesses, human emotions. Remember this. We have in our mind our natural greed or selfishness, hate or anger or ill will, ignorance or illusion. All of us maintain by nature. Some people try to control them, keep them under control without allowing them to flare up. Such people we regard as cultured people, religious people. But even then, there is no guarantee that they can maintain forever. They are not perfect. The reason is these hidden, intrinsic human weaknesses are still there in the mind. So when all these minor dark spots which remain in the mind as illusion, ignorance, ill will, or selfishness, or egoism, when these things are completely eradicated, wiped out, cleansed from the mind, the real wisdom appears, otherwise no wisdom. And that wisdom is brightness. At the moment there is no brightness in our mind, clouded with so many imaginations, emotions and other things. When all these things are clear out, no more, then there is brightness in the mind. That brightness is called enlightenment. Then can see things properly without any difficulties, not necessary to investigate. Now we have to investigate because our minds are not clear. If the minds are clear, there is nothing to investigate. We can understand. So the nature of wisdom, enlightenment of the Buddha, is based on this purity of the mind, not the knowledge. People cannot understand this. We try to develop our knowledge, but we do not cultivate purity in our mind. Then, Mahakaruna, great compassion. Naturally, that compassion appears in the same mind because no discrimination, no differences. This is the way how the Buddha has introduced to handle this emotional, mental attitude which we use as love. In simple language, people say love is blind, not bright. It is true. At the beginning, you start your love when you are in the dark. Love is blind. So one day when you open your eyes, you see the things properly, then you come to know you have done a mistake. Because you started from darkness. But those who know how to handle this by adopting so much humane qualities, in spite of various misunderstandings, conflicts and differences, still they can maintain. What are the things that you need? This is called humane quality. You must have so much patience in your mind. If there is no patience, you cannot handle your love. You must have so much tolerance. There are many things you have to tolerate, although you don't like. Otherwise you cannot carry on, maintain that love. Your understanding. What is this understanding? This is very important. You cannot find two human beings in this world who can maintain the same mentality. Impossible. Whether they are your husbands or brothers or father or mother or children, they have their own way of thinking, their own mentality. So when husband and wife live together, these two have entirely different way of thinking, different mentality. And because of that love that they develop, these two get together like a magnetic power. But this magnetic power won't last long. If it is emotional love, romantic love, sexual love, won't last long. When the husband was bankrupt, become very, very poor, then the wife reduced her love toward husband. That is the danger of emotional, romantic, sexual love. Now the wife, if he is young, she is thinking of another one. Husband is old, husband is poor, he is sick. This useless man. Think of another one. This is the danger of love that we develop. On the other hand, if the wife is very sick and wife is getting old very quickly and husband think of another one. This is the danger of emotional, romantic love and worse than animals' love. The real love that we develop from the beginning, you have to uphold, you have to maintain in spite of various problems and disappointments and calamities, and give and take policy. You have to share pain and pleasure equally. Don't wait to share only pleasure, only happiness. In your love there must be vacuum for you to share. So many unpleasant feelings. Then you can reduce the burden and worries if both can share. These advices you can find in the Buddha's teaching. So, still we can maintain our worldly love, but we must know how to handle it properly. It is very sensitive, very emotional, can create enormous problems. That is why at the beginning I referred to the Buddha, what he said. Premato jayati soko. All our worries, most of our worries are based on our love, our attachment. If this attachment either toward husband or wife or children or property or names or anything, if that attachment, that love was not there, we will be free from worries. Premato jayati bhaya. Fear always we maintain in our mind because of this love. We like our property, our jewelry, our house, our husband, our children, so many things. Because of these things, we develop fear and every day fear. If mind is free from all these things, the fear never appears in that mind. That is why those who have completely renounced all these things, free from such fear and such worries, they can maintain cheerfulness, happiness, serenity throughout their life. When this question was put to the Buddha by a king, he said, I have seen so many disciples, the followers of many religions, but unfortunately, I have not seen the cheerfulness, serenity, happiness that your disciples maintain among the others. What is the secret? Again he said, I understand your disciples, the monks or nuns, take only one meal a day. Whatever they receive, they accept, that's all. They never go and demand, they want this or that. But others are not like that, they go and demand. But even then, when I look at the complexion, the serenity, cheerfulness amongst your disciples is very, very advanced, catching to our eyes. What is the secret? Then the Buddha gave the answer. He said, Atitang nanu socanti nappajapanti nagatang paccupannena yapenti tena vanno pasidati. Here, he has given three reasons why his disciples can maintain all the good qualities. First thing, my disciples do not worry about their past, repenting, lamenting, worrying for what they have done during their past. Their minds are free. Nappajapanti nagata. They never worry about their future. They never think what will happen to them when they grow old, when they are sick, about their future. Such ideas never appear. So their minds are free from that also. Paccupannena yapenti. They maintain contentment in their life by receiving whatever people come and offer. They satisfy. They never grumble. They never ask this or that. Contentment, satisfaction always maintained in them. These three qualities. They never worry about their past, they never worry about their future, and they never worry about the present, but contentment. That is why their complexion, cheerfulness, happiness always maintained. So this advice is not only for the monks or nuns. You also can apply to a certain extent. Although you have not renounced worldly life, try to develop some sort of contentment in your life, not to be crazy and not to worry too much about your future. Do your day-to-day work without neglecting your duties. Then nothing to worry about your future. Forget everything what you have done earlier. Try not to repeat the same thing. That is more than enough for you. Then you will be happy. You worry for unnecessary things. Throughout your life you may suffer because you do not know how to handle your way of life. And these are the important things that you have to learn from Buddhism to mold, to cultivate our way of life, to carry on our life without facing so many undue, unnecessary worries and problems. Be cheerful, be happy. Problems are there. Life is a big problem. Whole world is a big problem. Everybody is facing. Then you must have courage to face. If you act wisely, we can overcome many of them. We can tolerate many of them. Then why worry? I think enough is enough. Coming to 11 o'clock. Enough, isn't it? Now no more worries, isn't it? Now you know how to make love, isn't it? Okay, Sarah. See you next Sunday.
Service is over. By the grace of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, may all of you find peace, happiness and final salvation. Thank you very much.